Now, we talked a little bit about Fantastic Four earlier in the day, and well, we could take a look at the overall health of Marvel moving forward. And guys, it's not great, because the next thing that is up is no, not quite Fantastic Four. No. We got Ironheart in about a month's time. Y'all ready? Y'all waiting for this stuff? Because hey, that trailer that just released this past Thursday, man, like it is hitting hard. Okay, people love it. They're watching it in droves. They're just not responding to it all that well because the Ironheart dislike ratio continues to skyrocket as fans slam the trailer with a 64% negative feedback. And no, it's actually worse than that, because you take a look at this and it's like, okay, cool, 200,000 upvotes, 418,000 downvotes. So 2-to-1 ratio, that's not great. But hey, at least 7.9 million people watched it. It sure is iconic after all. Now, because the timing is all too similar to this time last year, I've heard people say that this could end up being Marvel's Acolyte, and I don't think it's going to be that bad. The possibility always remains, and I reserve the right to be wrong on this. I really don't see it being that bad. Like, they do have the cards to play. They could totally crap all over the legacy of Tony Stark, their seminal character. They could. There are some avenues that they could take, and wasting Mephisto and making this all a big race allegory, a big sexism allegory. Like, they could do some totally cringy stuff, but ultimately, given the way that Marvel's releasing this, 3 episodes up front and then letting the other 3 episodes just languish in the aftermath, it's probably gonna be really bad. But it's going to be of similar quality to the rest of the stuff on D+ that barely anybody can remember has come out. And the character of Riri Williams, because her chair hasn't been a part of any of the streams that are there. She might turn up again as one of the young Avengers. They could also put this iteration on ice for a little while and then eventually bring it back, because now some of the complaining is happening, because it's absolutely wild, right? Because the only thing that we have officially is a little bit of the behind the scenes stuff, which, hey, look at Ryan Coogler's an executive producer on that. He does a bunch of black stuff, and you gotta like him because he did Black Panther and Wakanda Forever. Okay, nobody remembers Wakanda Forever, but do you remember Black Panther? It solved racism. Yeah, because he's attached to Ironheart, and he said that he liked Ironheart, so you're gonna like it too. Put out that trailer, and then the trailer that we just seen that like to dislike ratio on, and you take a look at some of those comments, and well, let's just say I wouldn't be unsurprised if chat music doesn't make an appearance before the release of the series. But now we're starting to get into pseudo reparations in regards to Ironheart. Like, what's going on here? Ironheart co-creator slams Marvel Studios for shortchanging comic book talent. The compensation model hasn't kept pace with the success. Well, here's the thing. Ironheart's original run was canceled after 12 issues because nobody was buying the goddamn comic. You're a co-creator on this, and Brian Michael Bendis, who made the original character to begin with, is an ideologically driven hack who just, adopted a black girl, made Riri Williams a self-insert for his daughter. So to try to give you credit for anything, like, I don't know, maybe did you come up with the name? Did you see a 2014 Vietnamese video? Vietnamese or Chinese? Maybe Japanese. I don't know. What does it matter? Okay, shout out Don Rickles. I make it better? And he thought, that's a pretty good name. Just how do we work in the tentacles? So I don't know what you're complaining about. Ahead of the upcoming premiere of the Characters at Disney Plus series, veteran artist and Ironheart co-creator Mike Deodato Jr. has added his voice to the growing chorus of comic book creators who have found themselves fed up with Marvel Studios' refusal to properly compensate the writers and artists whose works helped establish the MCU as a multi-billion-dollar enterprise. Well, you take a look at what they're quote-unquote adapting right now, and they're just using the characters in name only and none of the plot lines because A, they think they can do it better, and B, they don't want to have to pay residuals. And if you want to make this complaint, bro, just take a look at all of those legacy creators from Star Wars Expanded Universe novels. And if you don't shut your fucking mouth right now, they're going to decanonize a bunch of fucking Marvel stories, so you better shut your mouth. And what's wrong with her lack of chin, bro? What is going on? Anyways, former Marvel Comics artist who, prior to 2019's decision to break from the publisher in order to pursue his own project, penciled in the new Avengers era of Amazing Spider-Man Volume 1, Norman Osborn's time in control of the titular team in Thunderbolts Volume 1, and Riri Williams' official debut in Brian Michael Bendis' pen Invincible Iron Man Volume 3. It took aim at Disney's subsidiary Corporate Greed on May 13th, the day before the official debut of Ironheart's first trailer. Taking various social media accounts with his thoughts. Diodato Jr. Shared his Disney Plus hosted teaser and said I've said trailer and began, as a comic book artist, there are a few feelings more satisfying than seeing the character you help create come to life on the big screen. Tomorrow the trailer for Ironheart drops, and I'm thrilled to share a scene from the preview featuring a moment I originally brought to life in the comic book pages. Added referencing the scene wherein the title's heroine stops a truck dead in its tracks by smashing in its hood. Wow. So very original. An immovable force an unstoppable object meets an immovable force. When you were watching the first Avengers film, did you think, oh my god, look at that, the Hulk ripped me off when he stopped that big Chitauri alien right in the streets? Oh my god. Or did you rip them off because this panel would have probably came out, 5 years after the Avengers? Because that came out in 2011. And Ironheart as a character wasn't conceptualized until 15 or 16? Anyways. Riri Williams, a character I co-created with the amazing, the citation needed, Brian Michael Bendis, is finally taking flight, and the result is stunning. It's a powerful reminder of the magic that happens when imagination meets real-world production. Fuck off. It's gonna suck a dick. However, that's where his praise ended, and from there, he just started to complain and beg for change. But as much as I celebrate this moment, there's the bitter edge to it. You see, as Marvel has built an empire worth of billions on the back of its creators, the compensation model hasn't kept pace with the success. In a good place, one of the best paid creators in the industry, and I truly appreciate that. I'm in a good place, one of the best paid creators in the industry, and I truly appreciate that, okay? But it's not about me, it's about the principle. When a character you poured your heart into helps fuel the engine of a multi-billion-dollar machine, a small share of the success only feels fair. Bro, this series is not going to turn any type of a profit. It's going to be a fucking ratings disaster, a PR disaster, and that's why Marvel wants this thing not to exist. That's why they're sandwiching it in between what they're putting out has a rip-roaring success and turning a new page, the first steps of the brand new Marvel Cinematic Universe. That's why you're getting put between the Fantastic Four and where they're spending a vast majority of their marketing budget trying to gaslight everybody into thinking that the new Avengers, Thunderbolts, whatever the fuck you want to call it, mental illness simulator, they're trying to tell you it's a success. But if you take a look at the hard and true facts, it's anything but. Access Media spins Thunderbolts' third weekend box office number as a big win, while Marvel's real losses mount. Yeah, because guess what? This thing is performing worse than Captain America Brave New World, and it's very likely to stay that way because it's on a competitive trajectory, right? Because we got the box office numbers, and you take a look at how it performed this past weekend, and finished second behind a new Final Destination film. What fucking year is this where a new Final Destination film comes out and makes $51 million, and the Thunderbolts makes $16 million? And if it was on equal footing with Sinners, a film that is created by a guy that you're trying to use to market your next upcoming slop, funny how that shit works out. If it was on equal footing and wasn't strong-arming theaters into keeping your pile of shit in there longer, it would have ended up in third place, undoubtedly. He only made, $1.4 million more off the back of, just about 500 cinemas? And yeah, just take a look at per theater, $4,200 per theater, as opposed to Sinners in its, fifth or sixth weekend of release, still making $4,300, and it only had a 31% drop off into its fourth or fifth week. It's absolutely wild how well that film is still holding, even of the dubious quality that I hear it's at. But Thunderbolts falls another 50%. And you take a look at its comparables that's out there, and I got them pulled up because I think it's the two most prominent examples, and it's still behind Captain America Brave New World. And it's going to get hit hard this upcoming weekend, Memorial Day long weekend. It's going to be losing a significant number of theaters because Disney has Lilo and Stitch coming in, so it's going to be taking some theaters off of that. And then also you got Mission Impossible 8, which, it's looking interesting. It's looking interesting, to say the least. Might look into that a little bit more because I want that movie to succeed. Tom Cruise has been doing an excellent job in promoting the film, and I really do want it to succeed. I just don't think it's going to be all that good, but those films right there, they're going to end up eating most of those screens for the Thunderbolts. So there's a good possibility that this film dies a silent death moving into its fourth weekend. And domestically, it's made more money than the Eternals, but you take a look at that international box office, and this shit just is not keeping pace at all whatsoever. So the Thunderbolts being the third place movie for Marvel in 2025. Well, that was kind of on everybody's bingo cards, but the way that the media is trying to spin this disaster as some kind of a success is fucking flabbergasting. Thunderbolts has officially passed the $300 million mark. Well, that's nice. Okay, yeah, and even though they're still going with a $180 million budget, which, yeah, that's also what they're claiming for Brave New World, but we know that that is totally fucking bullshit. So, yeah, it's probably closer to, well, hell, even if you say 250, let's just go with a nice round number of $250 million. This film needs $600 million to break even, okay? Or even if you want to go with that superfluous $180 million, it's still going to need $425 million to break even. And oh, guess what? Captain America Brave New World, a movie that it's tracking behind. You look at the graph right there, another little medium for you to analyze. It's behind that. And oh, Brave New World missed by $10 million. But tell us how this is a big success. Yes, crossing $300 million is somehow being spun as a win. That's the take coming out of the access media platforms like Screen Rant, yeah, where the entertainment outlet declared that the milestone is a key mark and a positive sign for Marvel Studios. This is also the same outlet that say, hey guys, Captain America Brave New World is now the 31st best performing Marvel movie. Out of 35. But when you dig even a millimeter beneath the surface, it becomes clear that this a little more than damage control for another box office underperformer for the once invincible MCU. According to Screen Rant, Thunderbolts has now earned $325.7 million worldwide after 2 weeks in theaters. That phrasing is technically correct, and the article was published during the film's third weekend, but it's still within the 2-week window. Since it's May 2nd release, what's misleading isn't the calendar math, it's the framing. Focusing on 2 weeks, the article tries to suggest momentum and speed, when in reality, the Thunderbolts has already lost steam in its third weekend box office and is tracking well below historical MCU benchmarks. Marvel officially lists the production budget for the Thunderbolts at $180 million. But that number likely represents a baseline budget, not including extensive rewrites, strike-related delays, costly reshoots, and yes, reportedly altered the film structure midway through production. Yeah, because John Walker was supposed to be the big villain. They ended up switching that out. You take a look at some of the very obvious reshoots by just simply looking, at, I don't know, Bucky's hair length. I think John Walker's hair length as well. And oh yeah, that 2.5 minute long end credit scene that was filmed 3 weeks before the film hit theaters, but $180 million. Yeah, right, sure. Industry insiders estimate the final production cost could be between 200 and 220 million. Yeah, no, and I still think that's probably lowballing it. And there's marketing. Yeah, ignore the spin pieces. Marvel's global promotion for the Thunderbolts included a Super Bowl teaser, which was interesting, and international advertising. So another $150 million somewhere in that area. Marvel's total investment between $300 and $360 million, and with about 50% being extremely generous, the take that they'd have to get from theaters, meaning that this film needs somewhere between $600 and $650 million at the box office. And with the numbers that we have right here, it is fucking obvious for the world to see it will never make back its goddamn budget. Marvel is fucked in the short term, it is fucked in the midterm, and is it fucked in the long term? Well, let's take a look at the next video I have on doc for you. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Coswell, and I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.